important milestone in India's vaccine highway. India administered 1 billion doses of vaccine to its 1.3 billion Indian population. A very, very important and significant stop in India's quest for thwarting and exhorting the COVID-19 pandemic from India. Indian scientists, Indian technologists, and Indian industry are playing a critical role in bringing back this new normal. India is very fond of centuries, being a cricket-loving nation. But this century of 100 crore doses of a vaccine against COVID-19 being administered to Indians is a very special century. India is not only protecting its 1.3 billion Indian citizens, but has also given vaccines to about 100 different countries. Today we have with us Dr. Vinod Paul. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Dr. Paul is a pediatrician by training, member health of Niti Aayog, somebody who initiated Ayushman Bharat program. Dr. Paul, in COVID-19, we have seen a very unique situation. The vaccines have come, but there is no drug. Why has that, and is that a situation we should be worried about?
Well, this is an enigma in a way, because everybody thought that the drugs will come before the vaccine. Amazingly, the vaccine journeys, multiple journeys have been so successful. But I must say that the need for effective drugs is still there. What we have today is, steroids, very well tried out drug. Essentially, even remdesivir is on the cusp of perhaps being excluded from protocols. Yes, you are absolutely right. I do believe that the most important drug that we need, an affordable drug that we need, is the one which makes sure that the early disease does not progress to serious disease. Early mild disease does not go here. Now here you have an expensive antibody cocktail, but that's not affordable, that's not scalable. It has its own issues around it. So we need an affordable drug. I think there are a couple of drugs on the horizon. We would like to work hard in this area. We have a pharmacy enterprise within the country. There are some candidates, but the one which looks like a real candidate is molnupiravir. We still are watching the research space for it. India also is a part of trials by multiple companies, and also they have given license to 4 or 5 or perhaps 6 companies to be produced in India. So that's our hope. But as a continuing endeavor, this part of the disease spectrum should be tackled, in addition to vaccination, should be tackled by an effective drug, and we look forward to that drug. In fact, that will give us security someday to perhaps then do without the mask.
Do we have Indian candidates there?
We have some Indian candidates. They are in the early stage of development and research. Cannot be sure that they will work, but I think yes, we are emphasizing that through the CSIR. But the point that should be made today is, in this space there is still room for research and development, and our science enterprise should carefully, pharmaceutical enterprise should carefully look at the candidates and perform first class large studies. Don't perform small studies. For vaccines, the typical study was 24,000 volunteers, 28,000 volunteers for DNA vaccine. So do big studies so that they are decisive and go all the way. take this risk. I plead to the pharmaceutical companies to please take a risk, put more money for research and development, see how the game changing scenarios emerge when you really do hardcore research and development.
And clinical trial efforts in India, that has got a big boost.
It has got a big boost, such a great success with vaccines, and huge. If we can do those trials, we can surely do drug trials, which are done typically in hospital scenarios where it's a very protected and competent environment, and a search for an effective drug that retards and stops and averts the progression of the disease from minimal disease to significant disease is the need of the hour. It will complement the vaccine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Even as we celebrate the success of Indian science and technology, Indian industry, like Dr. Paul said, this 100 crore dose is only an intermediate milestone. There are also some concerns. Let's now sit down and talk about the concerns and the future of India's health sector. Now, Dr. Paul, both of us and the country went through a devastating second wave, and you have been the face for COVID-19 India in communication and in devising a strategy. When the second wave came on us, what was going in your mind? Did you lose sleep?
Well, it was a tough situation. Second wave came in a very unexpected way because it was riding on the Delta variant. We did not know at that time that we have a virus which has changed its characteristics in such a way that it will exploit its characteristics for huge transmissibility. The trends became obvious. There have been second waves elsewhere, but this one was on the shoulders of a new variant, a new class of the vaccine. Yes, worked very hard. Yes, had concerns, disturbing, you can say, sleep. But then we were working together as one seamless team, all of us, under the leadership of our Prime Minister. We worked hard. The entire government was responding. As a whole of government, whole of nation, states were working hard, and we took steps that were necessary. We guided the technical basis of how to tackle the pandemic, and yes, we withstood it all together as a nation. We learned many things, how to rise to the occasion in such challenging time. Other nations have also faced such unexpected rises in the pandemic. We had some lessons to draw upon them. We created our own lessons, for example, how to ramp up oxygen phenomenally, 10 times increase in the oxygen production capabilities, for example. We also learned how to have a very effective and safe home care model of mild disease or asymptomatic disease, supporting through telehealth, supporting through providing kits. Many state governments provided the kits. There was home-based testing done in many states. So innovations also appeared on the scene, and yes, it has been a challenge which the nation faced it all together.
If I may ask you a slightly more personal question, when that wave was happening in April and May, I also contracted COVID at that time. How did you keep your morale up? Because India was looking towards you.
Worked hard, worked with the team. I must say, the core team of the Prime Minister and of the government is a very seamless cluster of like-minded highly committed people. The team worked seamlessly. Team worked very, very hard, and it was the work that kept us busy. It was the work that kept us going, and it was a God-given opportunity to contribute in the best possible way to our great nation. Try to do that.
And we also came out of it soon.
Indeed, and then we are now seeing a new optimism, new success riding on our science and technology products, particularly vaccine. But I also want to mention, Pallabji, here that the way the indigenous testing kit scheme appeared on the scene was remarkable. You are a science journalist, and you would be proud that in matter of 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 95 India made RT-PCR and antibody tests were available to be tested by the ICMR. They were presented to them as choice, and that happened at such a rapid pace. The PPE from zero production to 500,000 per day production, we became a ventilator making country, and so on and so forth. But you know, the one part that must be understood is this was based on organizational strength of our departments of science and our science enterprise. Here what I mean specifically is to look at the role played by the National Institute of Virology.
Correct.
Right?
Very.
Virus isolation, guiding the very early phase, the critical phase of trying to understand the virus. They performed very complex tests on primate models, chimpanzees with Covaxin, when the Covaxin was being developed further. The DBT laboratories worked day in and day out doing the assays, having a biobank. DBT has established clinical trial sites already, which we were then built on. So the whole science journey is not something that appeared suddenly. There is a history behind it, there is an investment behind it, and then the opportunity was used by the leadership of those institutions and by the central leadership at the ministerial level.
If I may say, Dr. Paul, as a pediatrician, somebody who is a neonatologist, has also grown up, and you gave India Ayushman Bharat. Would it be fair, and if I may ask you, like experts are saying, you are the 21st century Sushruta for India, the pioneering surgeon, pioneering physician for India? What do you have to say to that?
This is too much of applauded for me. I am a humble doctor, bachon ka doctor, who is given a responsibility by the Prime Minister in a different role in the larger platform, a landscape of public health. I am honored and humbled to do this duty to the best of my ability. But I must say that particularly for Ayushman Bharat, again, a lot of people had worked. The contribution from NITI was at a critical juncture, which added value in a certain way to the model. And then I'm so proud that that scheme of the Prime Minister is truly, taking us into a great future in universal health coverage. We started with a coverage of 40% of India's population, about 11 crore families. State governments have added their own population, and today half of India is in a way covered through the PMJ system for secondary, tertiary hospitalization, a great pillar of our universal health coverage. And coupled with Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Center, it's a great edifice of healthcare system that is now being invested in by the government. Huge way forward, because this scheme will now embrace, not only has already embraced the public and the private sector, it's one sector for India, it's a paradigm shift. But going forward, this scheme will become the scheme that covers the entire nation, providing the universal health coverage, where we don't have to depend on out-of-pocket expenses for your cure and for your treatment.
Among other issues, as a public health person who's dealt with COVID-19 pandemic, do you see more variants coming? Will we see more waves?
Pallabji, new variants of this very mischievous virus must always be looked out for. This virus gave alpha variant, gave beta variants, and a very devastating, from the virus's point of view, highly successful delta variant. We must remember that viruses are now under pressure globally, and when under pressure, the mutations that help it survive, help it transmit more, help it obviate the diagnostics and even vaccines will be out there. So the new variants cannot be ruled out. It's a true unknown in the whole game of understanding the pandemic, and that is why we go forward with vaccinating the adult population at the earliest. That is why for the time being we will continue to take precautions, face mask, no crowds, no parties, social distancing, precautions every day for some more time till we are more certain, and no lowering of guard. That time has really not come, and you have seen yourself that in nations which had high natural infection on top of high vaccination coverage, so-called,
The Delta variant.
and then it was devastated by a variant which was new to them. We experienced that earlier than them, but when they experienced it, the whole system again tumbled. And the recent wave of US was more intense in population terms than our second wave. So let's not take for granted, we still are understanding the behavior of this virus and its effect. We have to be praying to the God that moving forward, the world is able to constrict and constrain and suppress the chains of transmission of this virus. We should use all the tools at our disposal. Vaccination is one big tool, but we have other tools such as social vaccine, preventing yourself, COVID appropriate behavior, the most important tool, and then be ready with testing, tracking, treatment strategy as well. And to this, of course, now we have Tika, test, track and treat, and Tika as the mainstay of therapy. But vaccination alone is one major strategy, but not the complete strategy going forward, at least the way we understand it today.
Dr. Paul, would you say, or when would you say, will we see the COVID-19 pandemic ending? Both of us have seen several pandemics come and go. From Surat plague to MERS, SARS, they have come and gone. When do we expect the COVID-19 pandemic?
Difficult to say. I think there are views on this that it can become quiescent and endemic. There are views that it can continue as pandemics within pandemic situation, where there will be outbreaks which could be devastating, and then part of the world will be safe. There is also, if a new variant comes, it may be smart enough to destabilize the whole thing, like a new and a continuing pandemic. We are examining this issue very systematically in the Empowered Group 1, which is an interministerial group on preparedness. We are actively looking at all the scientific data on this, working with the World Health Organization, and we need to be prepared for all the scenarios, not just one scenario, including the scenario that such a pandemic can engulf you again. But as a nation, we have to be prepared. I must mention that even as vaccination efforts have been going on and they are visible, at the same time, even in this relatively quiescent phase of the pandemic, the preparedness in terms of infrastructure, ICU, oxygen, drug supplies and tests is out there, being strengthened, being watched, being monitored on a daily basis.
Dr. Paul, we have two vaccines which have been given in large numbers. We have the Russian Sputnik vaccine. Which are the other candidate vaccines which are in our
portfolio? We also
portfolio?
have the DNA vaccine, which is in the phase of being rolled out. It's already licensed. Training for administering this vaccine, which is administered not by a syringe but by an applicator, is going on, and its other logistics are being worked out. So anytime it will be part of our national program. It has a stockpile capability of about, from the company Zydus, 1 crore per month is the current stock. So we must talk about, it's an amazing vaccine. the first DNA vaccine of the world. Going forward, there are 3 vaccines in the pipeline. The BioE protein subunit vaccine is progressing very well. Very safe vaccine, effective vaccine. It's in the final stages. Remember, at this point in time when the new vaccines come up, the methodology is not the same as the original vaccines, the large trial. You do what your comparator trial, so it's going to...
You have to test it against another existing vaccine and not a placebo.
Yep, that's right. So that's being done. They are also positioning themselves as a pediatric vaccine. That study is progressing very well. So that's one, and you may know that we have given advance purchase commitment.
Sure.
And made a massive payment to them for developing the vaccine which will be purchased. Then we have Genova mRNA vaccine. Remarkably, this vaccine is stable in normal cold chain conditions. It's a remarkable feat of our nation, the science of our nation. It's a game changer going forward for all the good reasons, because it is very easily tweakable to variants of concern and combo vaccination, pan-corona vaccine. So that's the next one, proceeding again through the comparator trial. Then we have a nasal vaccine, Covaxin company, which Bharat Biotech is doing. So these 3 are in the pipeline in this sense. And we must also remember that nation is also is home to the production of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, although largely for the external exports, and also Covovax, which is the Novavax vaccine, is already being stockpiled. So actually, if you see, there are 9 vaccines being produced, made in India eventually, and this bouquet of options, every platform. India's industry and science has mastered practically every platform.
Does any other country have so many?
No way. Okay. And that is why I said my optimism that going forward, when all this will be, and this hasn't happened over a day, by the way.
Sure.
This is the hard work of all the mechanisms that were put in place way back in March, April 2020. And now you are seeing the results because there is mentoring, facilitation, advancement. So these vaccines going forward are the ones, in addition to our mainstream 2 vaccines and Sputnik included, for taking care of the needs of our own nation, completing the current work, if need be boosters, if need be pediatric, and then looking after the needs of the world. That's what gives me hope.
And if I may add, COVID-19 vaccine is not the end. We are ready if there is need for developing vaccines against existing diseases and diseases which may come up.
Particularly the new platforms such as the mRNA and DNA platforms offer that opportunity, but the confidence that the scientific and industrial community now has, they'll be willing to take more challenges. And this has truly raised the profile of India's vaccine and pharmacy enterprise to a totally different level in the world and in the eyes of our own nation. We salute our science, our scientists, our science professionals, our industry, and our healthcare workers and healthcare teams and the leadership for making this endeavor possible, which goes beyond the COVID-19, as you say. It assures us that such large challenges can be met through resolve, संकल्प से सिद्धि, आत्मनिर्भरता से सिद्धि संभव है अगर देश जुट जाता है, लीडरशिप गाइड करती है, लीडरशिप फ्रंट से लीड करती है, मैंडेट देते हैं, जैसे करके दिखाया प्रधानमंत्री जी ने, ये सब संभव है। ये कॉन्फिडेंस अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है देश के लिए और हम सब के लिए, प्रेरित करती है हमें।
Thanks a lot for speaking to us, Dr. Paul. Always a delight listening to you from the point when you were a pediatrician in AIIMS to now when you are leading the country's charge on COVID-19. And if I can say, it is truly an inflection point in India becoming a new India. And we are sitting at Vijay Chowk. Vijay means victory. So a turning and inflection point in India's fight against COVID-19. Thanks a lot for speaking to us.
Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Administering 100 crore doses of the COVID-19 vaccine to India and exporting to about 100 countries across the world is no mean feat. India has had great moments in the past. Chandrayaan 1 gave India a spectacular moon moment. Mangalyaan gave the Mars moment for India. The vaccine development for the country is truly a life-saving moment, in my opinion, far, far bigger than the moon moment for the world. Saving India's citizens and saving world citizens is a very important part of India's vaccine effort. Going forward, this infrastructure which has been developed for vaccine making, research and development, and the scientific infrastructure will help India become the global pharmacy for vaccines in the world. Truly an Atmanirbhar moment for India, far bigger than the Mars and Moon moments. But to do that, India needs to invest heavily into India's health system and the research and development ecosystem. Indian scientists and Indian industry have shown their merit and prowess. Keep watching India Science.